folks, you're very welcome along here to Parnell's GA Club here in Coolock for the 2019 Dublin Camogie Club Championship draws, and I'm delighted to be joined on my right by Arlene Cushion from Nafina, and on my left hand side is Aisling Marr from St Vincent's. You both have had the experience of the championship final. Aisling, I'll go to you first. Vincent's gave up the crown last year. It was Arlene's team, Nafina, who made it through to the final along with St Jude's. You must be pulling to get that title back again.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we were lucky enough. We were kind of 3 back-to-back championships going into last year, which obviously was a massive achievement for us in a very competitive Dublin championship 3 years in a row. So last year we knew, it was going to be a big ask to hold on to it. It was a tough task. Obviously things didn't go according to plan, and that we would have hoped to push on further in championship, but we went out to a stronger Nafina team on the day. Credit where credit's due, they outperformed us in the day, and absolutely we'll be looking forward to getting back into championship again this year and hoping to get our standards back up higher and push on further again. Did
you find that last year's championship was actually probably the most competitive over the last 3 or 4?
It's probably difficult to say, in that there's different challenges from different teams in any given year. Obviously Jude went on and won championship last year. I think that Jude were probably in a stronger position last year than they have been the years previous, in that they were that bit older. Obviously they're a young team, so from their perspective they were probably more competitive than they've been previous years. But the likes of Lucan would have been very strong, in years prior to that maybe, and didn't compete at the same standard last year. No doubt we'll be back again even stronger this year. So it probably is difficult to compare directly one year to another, because different teams face different challenges in any given year. But the standard in Dublin Camogie, I think, as a whole over the past years has continued to be very high, and I've no doubt it will be very high again this year. New challenge.
Okay. And Arlene, Nafina made it after a couple of semi-final defeats. You made it to the final last year. Yeah. Unfortunately, just came up short against a very good St Jude's team.
Yeah, Jude's last year really in the final really put it up to us. Went extra time, and just they had that little bit more to get over the line on the day. But disappointed the last 2 years now we've gotten to the final, and unfortunately coming out the wrong side. So we're hoping this year now that we can go that one step further and actually finally get our hands on a championship.
Third time lucky and all.
Third time lucky, as they say, yeah.
And look, you've gotten the taste for getting to the final. It's all about winning that trophy now. How important is it to get off to a good start in the championship?
Oh, it's hugely important this year with having to play all the teams. It's a long championship, but you want to get off to a good start and build as you go on game by game and be peaking then hopefully, when you're getting to crunch time or it's knockout. So we'll be hoping now in the next few weeks to start building on that and get off to a good start.
And that new format actually will be a challenge for all teams. It was before, group stages, you played a certain amount of teams and that, but every team plays everybody this year, and that's going to make it a really exciting and interesting championship.
Yeah, I think definitely it'll give us a lot more game time, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes now for everyone.
Yeah, it'll definitely pose a new challenge as well to panels, I think, because obviously if you're going to play 7 games in 7 weeks with 8 teams in the championship, it's going to test the strength and depth of panels, as opposed to just the first 15 or 16 or 17 teams are going to have a much more strength and depth in their panels to be able to get through the championship. It will be inevitable for teams to pick up injuries and this kind of thing along the way. So I think it's going to be massively beneficial to teams pushing on, for whoever's coming out of the Dublin group, whoever's pushing on to the Leinster stage. I think it's going to be massively beneficial for those teams to have had a bit more game time throughout the squad, to have all the players on the bench have a bit more game time in them, and I think it would be beneficial as well for the teams coming up from the lower divisions, that they get a real test at senior one and get a few more games under their belt and really get to push on to the next level. So I think it's a massively positive thing.
And the new format as well, players are always asking for more games. You do a lot of training. Training is fine, but it's games players want to play. So this new format will certainly give you that. Yes, it's going to be a heavy schedule, but it's certainly going to give you all the game time you want.
Definitely, and everyone loves championship games. That's what everyone is training for all year. So definitely to get the crunch now in championship and get a bit more game time is going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, as you say, it's going to be a quick turnaround week on. But just
the championship structure itself, I don't think is even that much longer. So it is very much just that there's more games there to be played. Which, as we said, I think is a very positive thing. for players. Like you said, it's what we're training for, is to be getting game time, so that's what's going to bring players on. We'll bring on the standard of Camogie in Dublin, is having more matches, so I think it's massively positive.
Excellent. So, well, I'm looking forward to it anyway, so it should be a good championship. Right, we're going to get the draw underway, and we're going to do the Senior 1 draw. That consists of 8 teams, and there's just one group, and the draw basically is to assign numbers to each team, and that will then be put into a computer program. We're getting really sophisticated in Dublin Camogie lately, and that will actually generate the fixtures for the championship ahead. So I'm going to get Aisling on my left hand side here to pick the first team out, and they will be number 1, and Arlene will pick out the second, and that'll be number 2, and so on and so forth. So our 8 teams are in. I'll give them a little whirl, and Aisling, pick the first one. Team number 1 is Nave Jude. Team 2, Fog Celtic. Team number 3 is Ballyboden St Enda's. Team 4 is Lucan Sarsfields. Team 5 is Nafina.
Volunteer.
Team 6 is Ballantyre St John's. 2 left in the hat.
Business.
Team 7 is Vincent's. And that leaves one more.
Scaries.
And Team 8 is Scaries Harps. So that's the draw for positions for the Senior 1 Championship, and the teams are numbered as follows. Nave Jude is number 1, Fog Celtic number 2, Ballyboden St Enda's is number 3, number 4 is Lucan Sarsfields, number 5 Nafina, number 6 Ballantyre St John, number 7 St Vincent's, and finally number 8 is Scaries Harps. As I say, those teams and their numbers will be put into the computer, and the draw will be made in the next day or two, and those fixtures should be up on the Dublin Camogie website very, very shortly. Okay, we'll move on to Senior 2. There's 6 teams in this. Again, it's the same format as Senior 1. This draw is being done to pick numbers for positions to go into the go into the computer, I should say. And the teams that are in Senior 2 are Good Counsel, Nave Marnogue, Coola, St Oliver Plunkett Own Row, Kilmacud Crokes, and Raheny. Ashton, if you pick the first team out for me, please. Number 1 is Nave Marnogue.
Coola.
Number 2 is Coola. Number 3 is St Oliver Plunkett Own Row.
Good Counsel.
Number 4 is Good Counsel. Number 5 is Raheny. That leaves one more in the bowl.
Kilmacud Crokes.
And number 6 is Kilmacud Crokes. And that's the draw for the Senior 2 Championship for the positions, and they are as follows. Number 1 is Nave Marnogue. Number 2, Coola. Number 3 is St Oliver Plunkett's Own Row. Number 4 is Good Counsel. Number 5 is Raheny. And number 6 is Kilmacud Crokes. Just as like Senior 1, those names and numbers will be put into the computer, and the draw will be made with the fixtures coming out very shortly. Moving on now to the Intermediate 1 Championship. We have 9 teams in total in this. There will be 2 groups, a Group A and a Group B. And the teams, if I can open the envelope, the teams are as follows: Erin's Isle, Lafina B, Nave Peregrine, Castleknock, Nave Porry, Ballyboden St Enda's B, Nave Finbarra, Nave Breed and St Vincent's B. Ashling will draw the teams for Group A, and Arlene will draw the teams for Group B. We can't really talk about any fixtures at the moment since they're not out, but it'll be interesting to see who plays who first in both the Senior 1 and Senior 2 championships. These a little whirl. Okay, first team into Group A. Castleknock. First team into Group B. We've got 2, we'll throw that one back in.
Nave Porry.
Nave Porry. Now, second team into Group A
Nave Finbarra.
is Nave Finbarra. Second team into Group B.
Ballyboden's B.
Ballyboden St Enda's B. Third team into Group A
Nave Peregrine.
is Nave Peregrine. Third team into Group B
Erin's Isle.
is Erin's Isle. Fourth team into Group A,
Lafina B.
Lafina B. Fourth team into Group B, and the last team into Group B, as there's 9 teams, there will be one group of 5, which is Group A. St Vincent's B make up the last team in Group B. And the final team for Group A, 5th team,
Nave Breed.
is Nave Breed. Okay, so that's the draw for the Intermediate 1. Group A consists of Lafina B, Nave Peregrine, Castleknock, Nave Finbarra and Nave Breed. And Group B consists of Nave Porry, Ballyboden St Enda's B, St Vincent's B and Erin's Isle. And that concludes the draw for the Intermediate 1 Championship. The Intermediate 2 Championship consists of 6 teams. Again, this is a draw for positions to be put into the computer to make the draw. And the teams in that are Thomas Davis, Nave Olaf, CBC Portobello, Crumlin and Lucan B. Oh sorry, I missed one, Clanagale. The team in position 1, Crumlin.
CBC Portobello.
CBC Portobello is number 2.
Lucan B.
Lucan B is 3.
Nave Olaf.
Nave Olaf is 4.
Clonagale.
Clonagale is 5. And finally, number 6
Thomas Davis.
is Thomas Davis. So the draw for the Intermediate 2 Championship, the numbered positions are number 1 Crumlin, number 2 CBC Portobello, number 3 is Lucan B, number 4 Nave Olaf, number 5 is Clonagale, and number 6 is Thomas Davis. Right, we're going to swiftly move on because we have a lot of draws to get through tonight. The Junior 1 Championship, that consists of 10 teams, which will be 2 groups of 5. So we have 10 teams here. Right. The teams in the Junior 1 Championship are Ballantyre St John's B, Whitehall Columkill, Erin's B, Navemore, St Oliver Plunkett's Onroe B, Kilmacud Crokes B, Fog Celtic B, Raheny B, Nave Jude B, and St Vincent's C. And in the first team into Group A, Fog Celtic B. First team into Group B.
Raheny B.
Is Raheny B. Second team into Group A.
Whitehall Columkill.
Is Whitehall Columkill. Second team into Group B.
Vincent C.
Is Vincent C. Third team into Group A.
Kilmacud Crokes B.
Kilmacud Crokes B. Third team into Group B.
St Oliver Plunkett's B.
St Oliver Plunkett's Onroe B is the third team into Group B. Fourth team into Group A.
Nave Jude B.
Is Nave Jude B. We've got the fourth into Group B.
Navemore.
Is Navemore. Final team into Group A.
Erin's B.
Is Erin's B. And the final team into Group B.
Ballantyre St John's B.
Is Ballantyre St John's B. So the draw for the Junior 1 Championship is as follows. In Group A, it's Whitehall Columkill, Erin's B, Kilmacud Crokes B, Fog Celtic B, and Nave Jude B. And in Group B, it's St Vincent's C, Raheny B, St Oliver Plunkett's Onroe B, Navemore, and Ballantyre St John B. The next draw up is the Junior 2 Championship. That consists of 6 teams. Again, this will be a draw for numbered positions to go into the computer. And the teams in this championship are Skerries Harps B, Nave Marnoe B, Nafina C, Nave Baroque, Good Counsel B, and St Vincent's D. Team out in position number 1.
Nave Baroque.
Nave Baroque. Number 2 is
Skerries Harps B.
Skerries Harps B. Number 3
Good Counsel B.
is Good Counsel B. Number 4
Navemore B.
is Navemore B. Number 5
St Vincent's D.
St Vincent's D. And the final position number 6 goes to Nafina C. So the Junior 2 Championship, the draws for positions are as follows. Nave Baroque is number 1, number 2 is Skerries Harps B, number 3 is Good Counsel B, number 4 is Nave Marnoe B, number 5 is St Vincent's D, and number 6 is Nafina C. The next draw we have is for the Junior 3 Championship. This consists of 12 teams and they will be 2 groups of 6. Sure we have all of the names. Yeah, we have them all. And the teams are as follows: Lucan C, St Finian's, Castleknock B, Coola B, Nabreed B, St Anne's, Setanta, Erinsoil C, Commercials, Kilmacud Croke C, Ballybowden St Enda's C, and Fog Celtic C. And the first team into Group A
Coola B.
is Coola B. First team into Group B
Erinsoil C.
is Erinsoil C. Second team into Group A
St Finian's.
is St Finian's. Second team into Group B
Lucan C.
is Lucan C. Third team into Group A
Setanta.
is Setanta. Third team into Group B
St Anne's.
St Anne's. Next team into Group A
Kilmacud Croke C.
is Kilmacud Croke C. Into Group B goes
Nabreed B.
Nabreed B. Next team into Group A
Castleknock B.
is Castleknock B. And into Group B goes
Commercials.
Commercials. The final team into Group A
Fog Celtic C.
is Fog Celtic C. And the final team into Group B,
Ballybowden St Enda's C.
Ballybowden St Enda's C. Now that concludes the draw for the Junior 3 Championship, and the 2 groups are as follows. Group A is St Finian's, Castleknock B, Coola B, Setanta, Kilmacud Croke C and Fog Celtic C. And Group B consists of Ballybowden St Enda's C, Commercials, Erinsoil C, St Anne's, Nabreed B and Lucan C. And that concludes the draw for the Junior 3 Championship. The next draw is for the Junior 4 Championship. This consists of 11 teams. There will be 2 groups. Group A will have 6 teams in it and Group B will have 5. And the teams that are involved in the Junior 4 Championship are Round Towers, Ballantyre St John's, Nafina, Naporrick, Lucan Sarsfield's D, Ballybowden St Enda's D, Wild Geese, Nape Peregrine B, Glenader, Coola C and a Gaeloga is the 11th team in this championship. And the first team into Group A
Ballantyre St John's C.
is Ballantyre St John's C. First team into Group B
Coola C.
is Coola C. Second team into Group A
Lucan D.
is Lucan Sarsfield's D. Second team into Group B
Nafina D.
is Nafina D. Third team into Group A
Wild Geese.
is Wild Geese. Next team into Group B
Naporrick B.
is Naporrick B. Next team into Group A
United.
is Benader. The next team into Group B
Round Towers.
is Round Towers. Next into Group A
Ballyboden, St Dennis D.
is Ballyboden St Dennis D. And the final team into Group B
Nagale Olga.
is Nagale Olga. And our final team into Group A
Nave Peregrine B.
is Nave Peregrine B. Okay, and that's the draw for the Junior 4 Championship, and the two groups are as follows. Group A consists of Ballantyre St John's C, Lucan Sarsfields D, Ballyboden St Enda's D, Wild Geese, Nave Peregrine B and Buenader. And Group B will have Nagale Olga, Coola C, Nave Porrick B, Nafina D and Round Towers. And that's the draw for the Junior 4 Championship completed. That's all of our adult draws done. As I said, we can't really talk about fixtures for the senior because we're going to have to wait till the actual computer does its business and the fixtures come out. But as I said before, it's going to be an exciting championship. It'll be interesting to see what the first round of fixtures are. Anybody you'd prefer to miss in the first round?
I don't know about that. I think, championship is, because of the layout, as you said, this year you're going to play everybody, and there's pros and cons. No matter who you get to play a tough team first round, then it's nice to start off in a draw, and it's great to start off and win, get the championship underway. So we'll just be focusing on our own performances throughout the championship, and less worried about who we're playing and more worried about the level to which we perform anyway.
And for yourselves, anyone you'd like to avoid in the first round, or
not in particular really. It's just more about getting the performances from the team and getting started on the right foot and building as you go on. So it doesn't really matter who you get first, but I'm sure everyone will be watching over the next few days to see who we have in the first round. But it'll be a good championship again.
I suppose though as well, with 7 games in 7 weeks, it's important to get off to that good start, because if you get a loss in the first round, you're immediately under pressure. You don't have much time to lick your wounds or anything like that. It's literally back at it the following week. So it is important to get that good start and get that first win, particularly if you have, look, all teams will have it, but you have serious ambitions of getting to the latter stages of the championship. You certainly want to be getting off on that first win.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, getting a win early on gives the team a bit of momentum, and if you have more difficult matches coming up later in the season, then getting a winning start and getting a couple of wins in your belt early on will help to build on that momentum and to drive a team forward. But like we were saying, with the extra games, if teams are getting beaten in the first round, there's no better way to drive on from that and to recover from it than to go out and play another match again and to try and right your wrongs on the pitch. So I think this setup will suit everybody regardless of the result from the first couple of games.
Okay, well, we're going to crack on with the next part of the draw, which will actually be the juvenile part. We have a lot of draws to get through on that as well. We're just waiting on our envelopes. Thank you. And as you can see from the envelopes, we have a lot of draws to get through, so we're going to fly through this quite quickly. And the first one up is the Under 13 Division 1 Juvenile Championship. There's 6 teams in this, and there will be 2 groups with 3 teams in each. I just hope we can read this handwriting. And again, I get Ashing to draw Group A and Arlene will draw Group B. So first into Group A is Nafina A. First into Group B.
Kilmacud Crokes A.
Is Kilmacud Crokes A. Second team into A.
Fog Celtic.
Fog Celtic. Second team into Group B,
Ballyboden St Enda's A.
Ballyboden St Enda's A. The final team into Group A,
Lucan Sarsfield's A.
Lucan Sarsfield's A. And the final team into Group B of the Under 13 Division 1 Juvenile Championship is Nave Jude. So that's a draw for the Under 13 Division 1 Juvenile Championship, and Group A consists of Nafina A, Lucan Sarsfield's A, and Falk Celtic, and Group B will be Ballyboden St Enda's A, Nave Jude, and Kilmacud Crokes A. The next draw up is the Under 13 Division 2 Juvenile Championship. We have 8 teams in this, and again there'll be two groups of 4. And the teams competing in that championship are St Vincent's, Clontarf, St Finian's, Ballantyre St John A, Fingallians, Coola A, Castleknock A, and Whitehall. And the first team out into Group A,
St Vincent's.
the St Vincent's. First team into Group B
Clontarf.
is Clontarf. Second team into Group A,
Volunteer St John's A.
Ballantyre St John's A. Second team into Group B,
St Finian's.
St Finian's. Third team into Group A,
Fingallians.
Fingallians. Next team into Group B
Coola A.
is Coola A. Last team into Group A
Whitehall.
is Whitehall, Kills, and the final team into Group
Castleknock
B
A.
is Castleknock A. So that's the Under 13 Division 2 Juvenile Championship, and the two groups are as follows. Group A consists of St Vincent's, Ballantyre St John A, Fingallians A, and Whitehall Kills. And Group B will consist of Clontarf, St Finian's, Coola A, and Castleknock A. Our next draw up is the Under 13 Division 3 Juvenile Championship. We have 8 teams again in this one. Again, it will be two groups of 4, and the teams involved are Good Counsel, Skerry's Harps, Knavemore, Ballyboden St Enda's B, Nave Olive, Nave Marnogue, Nave Breed, and St Anne's. And the first team out for Group A
Good Counsel.
is Good Counsel. First team out for Group B
Skerry's Harps.
is Skerry's Harps. Next team out for Group A,
Nave Marnock.
Nave Marnogue. Next team for Group B
Ballyboden St Enda's.
is Ballyboden St Enda's B. Next team for Group A
St Anne's.
is St Anne's. Next team out for Group B
Nave Breed.
is Nave Breed. The final team for, sorry, yeah, that's one stuck in the corner. Group A
Nave Moore.
is Knavemore, and that leaves one in there. Final team
Nave
out
Olive.
is Nave Olive into Group B. So the draw for the Under 13 Division 3 Juvenile Championship is as follows. Group A consists of Good Counsel, Knavemore, Nave Marnogue, and St Anne's, and Group B will have Nave Breed, Nave Olive, Ballyboden St Enda's B, and Skerry's Harps. Next is the Under 13 Division 4 Championship, and we have 7 teams in this. There will be 2 groups. Group A will have 4 teams in it, and Group B will have 3. And the teams competing in this championship are Kilmacud Crokes B, Lucan Sarsfields B, Commercials, Westmanstown, Erinsoil, St Oliver Plunkett on Road, and Raheny. First team into Group A is Raheny. First team into Group B
Kilmacud Crokes B.
is Kilmacud Crokes B. Next team into Group A
Erinsoil.
is Erinsoil. Next into Group B
Lucan Sarsfields B.
is Lucan Sarsfields B. Third team into Group A
Commercials.
is Commercials. The final team into Group B
St Oliver Plunkett's own route.
is St Oliver Plunkett's own route. And the last team into Group A
Westmanstown.
is Westmanstown. And that's the draw for the Under 13 Division 4 Juvenile Championship, and the two groups are as follows. Group A will consist of Commercials, Westmanstown, Erinsoil and Raheny, and Group B will consist of Kilmacud Crokes B, Lucan Sarsfields B and St Oliver Plunkett's own row. Our next championship draw is for the Under 13 Division 5 Juvenile Championship. There is only 5 teams in this, and we're going to be drawing again for positions 1 to 5, and they will, as the other ones will be done, put into a computer, and the fixtures will be done out from there. The 5 teams that are involved in this championship are Ballantyre St John B, Thomas Davis, Clonagale, Ballybowden St Enda's C and Nafina B. And the first team out in position 1
Clonmagale.
is Clonagale. Number 2 will be
Ballantyre St John's B.
Ballantyre St John's B. The third team, position 3,
Thomas Davis.
be Thomas Davis. Position 4 will go to
Nafina B.
Nafina B. And the 5th position goes to
Ballybowden St Edmunds C.
Ballybowden St Enda's C. So that's the Under 13 Division 5 Juvenile Championship, and the positions to go into the computer for the draw are: in position 1 it's Clonagale, in 2 it's Ballantyre St John B, number 3 is Thomas Davis, number 4 is Nafina B, and number 5 is Ballybowden St Enda's C. Our last Under 13 draw is for the Division 6 Juvenile Championship. There are 6 teams in this. They will consist of 2 groups of 3. The teams participating in this one are Coola B, Eringebra, Clontarf, Castleknock B, Nafina C and Ben Aider. And the first team out in Group A
Clontarf B.
is Clontarf B. First team for Group B
Nafina C.
is Nafina C. Second team out in Group A
Eringebra.
is Eringebra. Second team for Group B
Coola B.
is Coola B. The final team for Group A
Benaider.
is Ben Aider. And the final team for Group B
Castleknock B.
Castleknock B. Okay, and that's the draw for the Under 13 Division 6 Juvenile Championships, and the 2 groups are as follows. Group A will have Eringebra, Clontarf B and Ben Aider, and Group B will consist of Nafina C, Castleknock B and Coola B. And that concludes the under 13 draws. We move on to the Under 14 and Division 1 the Juvenile Championship at under 14. There's 7 teams in this, and that means there'll be 2 groups. Group A will have 4 teams in it, and Group B will have 3. And the teams are as follows: Lucan Sarsfields A, Nave Breed A, Ballybowden St Enda's A, Erinsoil, Navemoor, Nafina A, and Ballantyre St John A. Get there eventually. Now, and the first team out for Group A
Lucan A.
is Lucan A. First team for Group B.
Ballybowden's A.
Is Ballybowden St Enda's A. Second team for Group A
Nave Breed A.
is Nave Breed A. Second team for Group B
Erinsoil.
is Erinsoil. Next team for Group A
Navemoor.
is Navemoor. And for Group B
Ballantyre St John's A.
Ballantyre St John's A. And final team out for Group A
Nafina A.
is Nafina A. So that's the Under 14 Division 1 Juvenile Championship, and the 2 groups are as follows. Group A will consist of Lucan Sarsfields A, Nave Breed A, Navemoor and Nafina A, and Group B will consist of Ballantyre St John's A, Erinsoil and Ballybowden St Enda's A. Next draw is for the Under 14 Division 2 Juvenile Championship. There's 8 teams in this. There'll be 2 groups of 4. And the teams taking part in this one are Naperogue, Kilmacud Crokes A, Clontarf, Coola A, St Vincent's, Good Counsel, St Oliver Plunkett's On Road, and Nave Jude. And the first team out to draw into Group A will be
Coola A.
Coola A. First team for Group B
Nave Jude.
is Nave Jude. Next team out for Group A
Oliver Plunkett's.
is St Oliver Plunkett's On Road. Next team out for Group B
Kilmacud Crokes A.
is Kilmacud Crokes A. Next team into Group A
Clontarf.
is Clontarf. For Group B
Good Counsel.
it's Good Counsel. Next team into Group A
St Vincent's.
is St Vincent's. And the last team out into Group B
Naverogue.
is Naperogue. And that's the draw for the Under 14 Division 2 Juvenile Championship. And the groups are as follows. In Group A it will be Clontarf, Coola A, St Vincent's, St Oliver Plunkett's On Road, and Group B will consist of Nave Jude, Good Counsel, Kilmacud Crokes A and Naperogue. The next draw is for the Under 14 Division 3 Juvenile Championship. Again, there's 8 teams in this one, so again it will be 2 groups of 4, and the teams in this draw are Fingallians, St Anne's, Castleknock, Fog Celtic A, Skerry's Harps, Nave Olive, Nave Mernogue and Raheny A. And the first team out for Group A
Fog Celtic A.
is Fog Celtic A. First team into Group B
Fingallians.
is Fingallians. Next into Group A
Castleknock.
is Castleknock. Into Group B,
St Anne's.
is St Anne's. Next team into Group A
Raheny A.
is Raheny A. Into Group B,
Nave Olive.
is Nave Olive. Next into Group A, and the final team into Group A
Nave Marnock.
is Nave Marnock. And the last team into Group B
Skerries Harps.
is Skerries Harps. And that's the draw for the Under 14 Division 3 Juvenile Championship. And the draw is as follows. In Group A, it will be Castleknock, Fog Celtic A, Nave Marnock A, Raheny A. And Group B will consist of St Anne's, Skerries Harps, Nave Olive. If I got them all there for Galleons, St Anne's, Skerries Harps, and Nave Olive are Group B. Our next draw is the Under 14 Division 4 Juvenile Championship. There is only 5 teams in this, so again we are just picking for positions from 1 to 5 for them to go into the computer to generate the fixtures. And the teams in this are Crumlin, CDC, Ballyboden, St Enda's, Nave Peregrine, and Lucan Sarsfields. And position 1 goes to
Nave Peregrine.
Nave Peregrine. Number 2
CDC.
is CDC. Number 3
Lucan B.
is Lucan B. Number 4
Ballyboden St Enda's B.
Ballyboden St Enda's B. And finally, number 5
Crumlin.
is Crumlin. So that's the Under 14 Division 4 Juvenile Championship, and the positional numbers for to enter computer for the draw are number 1 Nave Peregrine, number 2 CDC, number 3 is Lucan Sarsfields, number 4 Ballyboden St Enda's, number 5 is Crumlin. Next up is the Under 14 Division 5 Juvenile Championship. We have 7 teams in this one. It consists of a Group A and a Group B. Group A will have 4 teams in it, and Group B will have 3. And the teams in the draw for this one are Round Towers, Nafina B, Kilmacud Crokes B, Scully Connell, Ballantyre St John's B, Crave Kieran, and Commercials. And first team out into Group A
Scully Connell.
is Scully Connell. First team into Group B
Commercials.
is Commercials. Next into Group A
Kilmacud Crokes B.
is Kilmacud Crokes B. Next team into Group B
Ballantyre St John's B.
is Ballantyre St John's B. Third into Group A
Craig Kieran.
is Craig Kieran. Third team into Group B, and final team into Group B,
Round Towers.
Round Terrors. And the final name out of the bowl into Group A
Nafina B.
is Nafina B. And that concludes the draw.